I am Michael Collins. I'm Commissioner for the Department of Neighborhood and Business Development for the City of Syracuse. It's 5:30. We're going to begin our public meeting for comments on the third annual action plan for our HUD action plan that is specific to program year 48 for housing and urban development. So this is a plan that we released earlier in the month. We are in the middle of a 30-day public comment period. You are all here to provide comment on the plan. The public comment period is open until 5 o'clock, April 7. So besides today, you've got time for you, friends, family, neighbors to continue to submit comment on this. Comment can be delivered in person to Neighborhood and Business Development, the 6th floor of City Hall Commons, just down the street. It can also be delivered via email to NBD, as in Neighborhood Business Development, at syrgov.net. So today what we're going to do is, if you would like to provide comment, you'll have 3 minutes to do so. There are yellow cards like these on the table. If you haven't filled one out, please do. Neda Armstrong is out front. She's got the card. She can help you out. I will call them up in order, and we'll receive the comments. If you have written copies of your comments, please give them to the stenographer, and he will make sure that they are entered into the record exactly as you have them, along with your what you say publicly. So I want to start by recognizing the fantastic team that's worked so much on this. And so we've got Elizabeth Gannon to my right. Elizabeth heads up the grants team. Sue McMahon, one person over. I was going to say to my right, but it is. We're flipping it around to you guys, sorry. Sue heads up the Emergency Solutions Grant. Neda Armstrong is in the back, and she's not new to Neighborhood and Business Development, but she is our new Community Development Block Grant Administrator. And Diane Sherd was not able to be with us tonight, but Diane is our Home Program Administrator. So that's the team. We've got copies of the action plan in back. It is available on our webpage. There's 4 copies there. It's 55 pages. We're hoping that if you are interested in the full plan, you take a look at it on the website. If you need a hard copy, feel free to let us know. Otherwise, these are here to share for the evening. There are copies of the Community Development Block Grant Year 48 budget back there for you to take home. So brief introduction on the plan and the budget. This is part, as we said, year 3. It's year 3 of our 5-year program. Our 5-year action plan. And that we've got 3 goals within that. First is to promote and preserve safe, affordable, and stable housing. Second is to build family wealth and promote economic inclusion. And third is to create a more vibrant and resilient neighborhoods. So I think I've run through everything here. Again, it's 3 minutes. Fill out the yellow card. I'm going to go through them in the order that I've got. And if you got written comments that you could provide to our stenographer, that would be fantastic. Great, thanks. So our first person to come up for comment will be Sally Curran, a Volunteer Lawyers Project. And after that is going to be Nicole Watts.
Great, thank you so much, and good evening. My name's Sally Curran. I'm the Executive Director of the Volunteer Lawyers Project of Central New York. I want to just take a moment to thank Neighborhood and Business Development for our allocation in year 48, and especially thank Sue McMahon and the rest of the amazing team who provide so much support to us. I also want to say good evening to all of the rest of the folks who are here to make comments. We partner with so many of these different organizations, and they do such critical work in our community. The mission of the Volunteer Lawyers Project is to provide access to justice through engaging the legal community and volunteer service to those in need. And as you know, the last 2 years have been incredibly challenging, especially for tenants who cannot afford to pay their rent due to COVID-related hardships, and also those who have faced serious housing concerns and, of course, landlord harassment. VLP-CNY has adapted its services to meet client needs in a changing environment, appearing in court virtually and in person, and providing ongoing legal representation as well as brief advice and counsel to tenants telephonically, and providing education regarding tenants' rights to thousands of community members and service providers, especially through the Housing and Homeless Coalition. With the support of this ESG funding, we will continue to ensure that tenants have access to an attorney every single day that court is hearing cases, whether virtually or in person. And I also want to recognize the continued allocation to Hiscox Legal Aid Society, which we strongly support. Hiscox Legal Aid is a key partner in working to ensure that all tenants have access to attorneys in eviction proceedings. We see time and time again in court the ways that tenant rights are ignored or even pushed aside when tenants do not have legal representation. An eviction has many serious consequences: interruption of employment and schooling, loss of personal possessions and what little wealth families have been able to accumulate, increased rates of depression, increased emergency room use, elevated long-term residential instability, and an overall increase in risk for homelessness. All of this said, safe and affordable housing should be a fundamental right, as should be right to counsel in eviction proceedings. Our attorneys ensure that tenants have the full protection of the law when it comes to their housing, and it is critical that we reach the point of being able to provide representation to 100% of tenants, not only who come to court, but those who are being brought to court for eviction. Having attorneys present every day in eviction court not only reduces the number of evictions that take place, but it even reduces the overall number of eviction filings. And in doing so, it creates stability for Syracuse families. Our agencies are important partners in the fight to end homelessness and create pathways out of poverty in Syracuse. And I will just say briefly that in addition to the funding that we receive from ESG through the city of Syracuse for eviction prevention, we partner with many of the organizations here on issues like entrepreneurship, I see my time's out, and job opportunity, overcoming barriers to employment, and more, veteran services. So thank you so much for your support of our agency and these agencies before you.
Thank you, Sarah. I thought I had that on quieter volume there. It may stay at that volume. So, all right. Thanks. So that's it is, as I said, set for 3 minutes. So Nicole, thank you, and following Nicole will be John Tomino.
Perfect. All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Michael and NBD team and City of Syracuse. I am thrilled to be here for the first time working with CBDG and Homes specifically, and I'm very excited to have been included in our work on the north side in the draft third year action plan. So thank you so much for considering us as a partner in this time. Our organization is its mission to unify diverse communities, rich in culture and connectedness to prosper in place. And these funds will provide much needed operational support to develop and implement equitable neighborhood development plans for focus on our 30 block micro neighborhood in the north side. We have focused on these 30 blocks boundaried by Kirkpatrick, Park, East Division, and North Salina because we've been living in that community for the last 11 years and have witnessed over and over again the way that systems prevent people from being able to access a life where they can prosper in place. And so we have as an interest to be able to change that story so that people who live there truly have the agency and access to have the life that they dream of. As we've been working together with our community to build those plans, there is a number of dreams that we cannot wait to see happen. But this is foundational money to actually bring that to be. These funds will underwrite a significant portion of the expenses associated with the co-development of neighborhood plans between local residents and stakeholders, with a special focus on housing and other integrated social determinants of health connected to housing, such as mobility and resource access. Additionally, it will provide in-home workshops for basic home repairs, instigate the development of architectural drawings for 10+ new scattered site housing units, help us to be able to provide small stipends for the Vision Council from the local community that are making this possible, and so much more work to co-design these plans, and hopefully ultimately, or for sure, we will be sure to see them ultimately be brought to real life and implemented. We look forward to working with you towards being a city where people can truly prosper in place. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Nicole. So John, and then followed by Interfaith Works, Felician from Interfaith Works.
Awesome. Good evening, everyone. It's John Tomino, Executive Director and co-founder of In My Father's Kitchen. I just want to thank NBD and you, the Commissioner, for partnering with us for year after year going forward. From what we've been doing to what we're doing today, I just wanted to give you some updates in regards to our ESG year 47 and our goals that we set for that year and where we are to date. So we had an engagement goal of engaging new individuals at a number of 130. We're at 100 right now with a month to go. Our second goal that we had was housing individuals. We set a goal of 40, and to date we're at 32 people with this month to go. Meals served, we shot for the moon. We did a little over 1,000, a guesstimated number. We're around 800 right now with this month left. But the one goal that I wanted to really highlight today, and I was sharing with the Commissioner earlier, that this year for me, in the 10 years that I've been doing this, was the slowest winter I've ever had. And I'd say that's good news, not bad news. This year I did not have one person living in a tent outside through the winter. I did have some folks in abandoned houses, but usually we have folks that are living outside. I didn't have one of those at all in a tent at all, which was an anomaly. Because of that, our goal 3 was to help individuals maintain housing for at least 6 months after they got housed. And we set a goal for 25. We exceeded that goal. We're at 34, so we're 36% higher. And the reason I believe that is the intensive case management that we've been able to do, wraparound services with individuals that get housed. So other than housing someone, which is important, the main thing is to make sure they maintain their housing. They don't recidivize back outside. And because of the fact that we do this wraparound, getting them to their appointments, advocating with their landlords, helping them with whatever they need, they stayed indoors, they didn't bail out. Over the last 10 years, we've assisted 266 people in the housing. I'm here to report that only 10% recidivized back outside, and out of that 10%, 5% were rehoused. So I want to thank you for your partnership. Thank you for connecting with us again this year, and we're going to make a bigger difference. Thank you.
Thank you. Felician, and then Brian Faye.
Hi everyone, my name is Felician from Interfaith Works. Interfaith Works builds bridges of understanding to affirm the dignity of all people and all faith tradition in Central New York. Our 3 major programs are the Center for New American, Erihad Center for Dialogue and Action, and Senior Services Companion Program. Center for New American, Interfaith Works Center for New American provides resettlement and crucial post-resettlement services to help refugee and immigrant families establish their lives and overcome the barriers necessary to successful integration in the United States. Since its establishment in 1981, the center has served annually more than 1,200 individuals who have been in the country less than 5 years. In addition to initial resettlement, post-resettlement focuses on unemployment, literacy, housing, and health services to improve the health and well-being of refugees. Program accomplishment and highlights. Helping the Central Refugees as an affiliate of Episcopal Immigration Ministries, EMM. Between 2021 and this year, Interfaith Works resettled 125 refugees and 189 Afghan humanitarian. The refugees who were resettled this year came from Afghanistan, Burma, Democratic Republic of Congo, Syria, Sudan, and Ukraine. ESG and Cdbg funding received from the City of Syracuse and the USA Department of Housing and Urban Development allowed 275 clients to avoid homelessness and utility disruption. Clients were linked with essential government and private programs that enabled them to stay safe and warm in their own homes and avoid further complications resulting from the COVID-19 pandemic. Funding jobs and connecting with the New York Department of Labor. Despite the many challenges the COVID-19 pandemic has created for employment, 163 new Americans were placed into jobs during 2021. Matching grant. Through matching grant and employment placement, 25 people were provided alternatives to public assistance benefits. The intensive case management program delivered support to 40 refugees clients who needed assistance with navigating their way through the American medical and mental health systems. Additionally, the program provided 4,000 in TOPS gift cards, 2,000 in cash cards, bi-weekly groceries, PPE, transportation, emergency housing assistance as part of its COVID-19 response to vulnerable refugees. The Path to Citizenship program provided citizenship preparation classes to 57 individual Interfaith Works staff, accredited representative of the USA Department of Justice, provided immigration services to 233 clients while assisting 63 individuals to complete the naturalization application. 134 individuals received help completing their green card applications. Thank you for the support we have received to assist clients experience crises due to culture and language barriers. Cdbg ESD funding has been critical to maintaining housing stability for newcomers. Our agency is able to meet or exceed program numbers each year because of the high need for this program. We urge the Common Council and the city to continue to support these services to residents of the city. New American being housing stable contribute to neighborhood stability and is good for our city. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Brian Faye, and followed by Walt Dixie.
All right. Good evening. Walt takes care of things here. This is good. Good evening. I am Brian Faye, the Executive Director of Syracuse Northeast Community Center. Thank you for this opportunity to speak about CDBG's powerful positive impact on our neighbors and the community. And I'm really grateful to be amongst all these collaborating organizations that are doing such great work in the city. CDBG funding represents 20% of the total funding for SNCC services and programs. These funds directly support basic needs pantry, diaper bank, youth and senior services, community engagement, all of which which also allows us to continue our community school program partnership with Dr. Weeks Elementary. These CDBG funded services complement and indirectly support neighborhood advisor services, health connections, and supported employment, as well as other programs that together provide our community with comprehensive and holistic support that engages, grows, and connects our neighbors. Through CDBG funding, we build family wealth and self-sufficiency for those most in need in order to create more vibrant and resilient neighborhoods on the north and northeast sides of Syracuse. Simply put, this funding directly enriches the lives of thousands. Syracuse Northeast Community Center and our wide network of collaborative partners has delivered a growing set of essential services for over 44 years to our neighbors in need, including the refugee, immigrant, and new American community, and others facing tremendous barriers and inequities. We do this through continued CDBG funding, the tremendous support from the Syracuse Department of Neighborhood and Business Development, and via our dedicated, experienced, and creative staff, who this year will engage and grow and connect with over 1,600 youth, 750 adults, and 175 seniors. We're grateful to be entrusted with CDBG funding that continues to build a more equitable and inclusive Syracuse. We're also grateful for the responsiveness, expertise, and professionalism of all working in the Department of Neighborhood and Business Development on our neighbors' behalf. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Brian. Walt, followed by Rich Pachalski.
Yeah. Oh, see, I'm back after last time I went before you. You went before me, so that's good. You got it. So, well, I want to thank your Commissioner Collins and your team for the work you guys do. Sometimes it's thankless, but it's needed. And I think this is a great year. We're coming out of a pandemic, and with the ARCA funds and the work that all of us are doing this year, we can really, as the mayor always say, this is that laboratory to really do some amazing work. Today, I'm going to submit a couple of these copies, particularly for your staff to read, so collectively they can see our strategy this year. And this was done with collaboration with Del Riker that helped us put this together. And for all our projects, we bring in national partners to do development with us, from bidding on joint school board to demolition of the highway to training. They have the certifications, the work we're doing Housing Vision and our training center in the future, to the work we're doing with Carrie for our seafood restaurant. And I'm just excited for the work we're doing and the work that Twiggy's doing with our workforce initiative. We're doing a lot of rides. We had to cut back on the rides in the suburbs for a minute because of gas and amazing. But, we're really working it. And I say, it's not just the bricks and mortar, it's really building a community. It's the human side that we sometimes forget, and we're connecting the community with. And the work that Carrie does with the financial literacy, the work that the mayor has done in that leadership, and so that folks can, that's why Carrie got a head start, was by building homes, but I'm gonna catch up. But it's a good thing. But yeah, I'm just excited, and last year the council took a little bit of money from us. We didn't know why. But I think when they see what we've done, this has been 3 or 4 years in the work, and you've been on our team and supporting us, and we do appreciate the good work. But I'm going to give these to you, but I want to make sure your staff get this. It's very detailed. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Rich, thanks. Rich Pachalski, followed by Shannon Cunningham.
Rich Pachalski, Executive Director, Syracuse United Neighbors. Unlike a lot of people here today, Syracuse United Neighbors receives no funds from the City of Syracuse Community Development Block Grant Program. 0. We are an independent voice that could weigh in on the proposal that's being submitted to the federal government. SUN is a 45-year-old community organization active on the south and near west side neighborhoods. We are here today to support SHARP and urgent care Cdbg at the proposed funding levels. SUN works with home headquarters. Oh, you showed up. Oh my Lord, you weren't here on time. At the proposed funding levels. We work with them both on marketing and completing applications for these 2 programs, as well as we did with the ARPA stuff. We helped submit applications to home headquarters for that. We see many low-income homeowners get emergency assistance for new roofs, furnace, hot water tanks, and sewer repairs through urgent care. We work with homeowners up to $1,500 in funds to make small repairs under SHARP. Many times, people get exterior steps, doors, windows, small porch repairs, etc. That's my speech. But, Commissioner, you got a little allocation that you cut money for distressed vacant houses. I don't like what the city's doing or not doing. Too often, vacant houses sit forever and ever and ever, like 418 Merriman that we talked about earlier today. People go there, sleep at night, people go put in needles, and the problem persists a block away from Delaware School. I don't understand why the city doesn't move on vacant houses, particularly if they're fire damage. And more attention. You're going to change your clock. More attention needs to be made.
Can't control time, Rich.
I think the city should be contacting Sun and asking for our opinions on which houses need to come down. They're not all land bank houses. And I think it's depressing that you cut 100,000 from distressed vacants. Thank you.
Thanks, Rich. Shannon Cunningham, followed by Carrie Quaglia.
Hello. First off, just like to say thank you on behalf of Covenant Housing Corporation of Central New York to the city. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm short. Just like to say I'm here on behalf of Covenant Housing Corporation of Central New York, and we would like to thank the city and NBD for their continued support of our program. For those not familiar with Covenant Housing, we are a small community housing development organization that develops affordable housing for low and very low income households and individuals with disabilities. We own and manage 40 scattered site rental units throughout Onondaga County, with 16 units in the city of Syracuse. We also offer a down payment assistance program for first-time homebuyers with disabilities and an assistive technology environmental modification program for individuals with developmental disabilities. In the last program year, we renovated 6 scattered site affordable rental units in the city of Syracuse and completed 12 assistive technology environmental modification projects, managed our rental housing units, and assisted 4 homebuyers. Altogether, these represent an investment of almost $400,000 in the city from New York State, private sources, and the federal government. City NBD funding is vital because you have provided the operating funds that allow our 3-person staff to develop and manage these units and projects. We are happy and proud to report that throughout the pandemic and the challenges it presented, we did not lose a single tenant due to inability to pay rent. Thanks to your support, we worked with any households that fell behind, making repayment arrangements, reducing rent as necessary, and referring them to rental assistance programs when appropriate. On the development side, your operating funds allowed us to maximize the investment of development dollars directly into affordable housing. Last year alone, NBD received a 15-to-1 return on its investment. Given all of this, I would like to ask NBD to reconsider the proposed cut to our operating funding. While we may not be the largest development organization, we believe we are an important piece of the affordable housing plan and that we provide a great return on investment. These are tough times for many special needs populations to find and maintain affordable housing. People with disabilities generally face even greater housing vulnerability due to skyrocketing housing costs and the limited number of accessible and supportive housing units. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. John, did you get the previous speakers? Did you get Rich's comments? Okay, all right. So Carrie, and following Carrie is going to be Sharon Sherman.
Hi, Carrie Quaglia, the CEO of Home Headquarters, and I did submit some written comments, so I'll keep my verbal comments short. I'm sure that'll be appreciated. We're very grateful to you, Commissioner, for keeping our funding at the same level as last year for the programs that are Cdbg funded. And although Rich did a good job explaining what those programs are, I'll just highlight them a little bit further. First off, about $1.4 million in the urgent care program. This program is imperative for Syracuse homeowners. We'll be able to help about 90 people do needed repairs such as roof, furnace, that type of thing, larger items that are really difficult to afford. In the course of doing that, we'll also help about 10 people have ramps or accessibility accommodations to their homes, folks that might be seniors or physically disabled. The SHARP program is for minor home repairs. Fortunate here to have Rich today with Son and Andrea with Neda. They are our neighborhood partners. Their work is critical. A lot of times we're helping seniors or might help folks who have limited skills, and they help take the application, and federal program, there's a lot of paperwork, and they help us get folks through. And also, we get a fair amount of, in an unofficial capacity, SHARP applications from Jubilee Homes and Walt as well. The Closing Cost Assistance Program is really important because it creates new first-time home buyers in the city of Syracuse. We should be able to create about 50 new home buyers buying their first home in Syracuse, and that's great. And then the support for our housing counseling is really important, not just for pre-purchase counseling, but this year, as you know, the state of New York had the Housing Assistance Fund, or HAF, and this was helping people who had gotten behind on mortgage or taxes due to the pandemic. And each one of those folks needed a housing counselor assigned to them. And we were able to help get those applications in the portal and get much needed support from the state. So again, just thank you for your continued support, and we hope to produce as we always have. Thank you.
Thanks, Sharon. Sharon Sherman, followed by Andrea Wondersey.
Hi, I'm Sharon Sherman, Executive Director of the Greater Syracuse Tenants Network. Unfortunately, today I was too busy to prepare remarks for you, written remarks. So we appreciate the staff of Community Development, Neighborhood and Business, especially Sue McMahon, and we really loved working with her again because she really cares about the programs. And we also care about the ESG eviction prevention program, as well as the relocation program, which we feel is very valuable. Our agency, we were disappointed that we got flat funding. We certainly have never recovered from the level of funding we received under the previous administration. And it's particularly an issue now because for the first time, we're going to have 2 full-time VISTA volunteers as of May 15th working in our office. So even though the salary is paid by the federal government through VISTA and through HUD supplementing the program, we have to supply equipment, travel expenses and such for that second VISTA. And we're hoping, that there's some adjustment in that. In addition, there's one program that provides us with other sources, which is our landlord training and our human service worker training. And we still are not able to resume in-person training. We did do free training during COVID, but we did not charge for that. So it's a fee for service. We hope to resume. Right now, we are very busy with 10 federally subsidized Section 8 buildings who have recently changed management. They're scattered through the whole city of Syracuse, from Woodbine and Eastwood, Madison Street, South Ave, West Onondaga, South Salina Street. They're all over. They're little small apartment buildings. 5 of them were called Syracuse Rehab, and they were owned by the Green family. And we're very pleased that as of January 27, a very good new owner has taken over. This owner has also bought Summit Apartments, which is another 5 little apartment buildings scattered through the city. Both of these portfolios are in horrible condition. The owners neglected them, invested nothing for years and years and years, and even now we're dealing with 132 Martin Luther King is unfit as of today because the roof sprung a leak. And so we're very hopeful the new owner is already gotten money from weatherization and NYSERDA to work on the Summit Apartments late spring. and the other buildings are still looking for financing. In addition, we're still struggling with Skyline. We hope, and you've heard many of the tenant leaders speak to the media, it's going nowhere. So we are really, really busy this day, and having Vista volunteers who can knock on doors and speak individually to tenants, I think is really going to be good. Both of our Vistas are low-income tenants who are residents of the city of Syracuse, so we'd like to see more funding in that for those programs. We also support our partners, Sally mentioned some of them, Volunteer Lawyers, Hiscox Legal Aid, Fair Housing Council, which I think is also funded by Cdbg budget, and we want to see our partners continue. I spend a lot of time talking to tenants for a non-funded activity. I'm just talking and giving advice, and I want to compliment the department on having Patty Lynch, someone who has not been mentioned, who everybody in this room probably calls when they're dealing with a tenant situation. And I think that's like a service the city offers. I don't know of too many cities that do something for people who are unfit properties, who live in properties that have been declared unfit by the city, and then try to do something to place them. So whatever funds that activity, it needs to continue. So thank you very much. And if I might be providing some written testimony with the addresses of those 10 buildings we're working on now. Thank you.
Yep, thanks, Sharon. All right, Sharon. Andrea Wandersee, followed by Bob Skowski.
Good evening, Commissioner Collins and his team. Thank you so much for having me tonight. My name's Andrea Wandersee. I'm the Executive Director of Neda, the Northeast Holly Development Association. I have a copy for you. I also emailed it to you earlier today. Just a quick aside, Michael, there's a quick end page with a summary, like actual text for the report. That's just an update on our program. So thank you. I wanted to thank the city and Cdbg for its continued support of Neda's work on the north side and the neighborhood revitalization strategy area that we serve. Neda empowers the north side community by promoting quality housing, fostering financial security for families, and supporting businesses. As a neighborhood preservation company, we strengthen our neighborhoods by celebrating the rich diversity of the north side, and we encourage active civic engagement and advocate for community health. We're on year 48 now, so we're pretty excited to be looking at our 50th in a couple years. Neda's tenant housing counseling program can help families stay in their homes, address unsafe and unhealthy living environments, or relocate if that is what the family wants and needs. We have seen a sharp increase in demand for our services and anticipate a growing need in the coming year. The impact of COVID-19 on housing is an unprecedented disaster. We're all acutely aware of that, as are you, and tenant and landlord services are more important than ever before. Through tenant and landlord counseling and relocation services, we help families find and maintain quality, affordable housing. For the first 10 months in year 47, we've served 55 people on the north side. Our goal was 50 for the year, and 91 people from other areas of the city. We connect people to additional services they need to stabilize and support their families, many of which are connected to our partners here in the room. They include programs like rent relief, legal services, the child tax credit, especially for non-filers, DSS, food pantries, HEAP, the Syracuse Financial Empowerment Centers. We're really pleased to be a host to that program. Workforce programs such as with the Community Center and more. Partnerships with organizations such as Northside Up, the Syracuse Northeast Community Center, Home Headquarters, Housing Visions, the Land Bank, and the Syracuse Financial Empowerment Center allow us, along with many, many others, allow us to maximize community resources for the Northside residents. Cdbg funding is a keystone to Neda's financial health and our impact on the north side. It allows us to match other funding streams that complement our CDBG work, such as economic development. This year, we're working with more than 90 businesses, 15 of which are low-income or new American business owners. Educational programs where we serve more than 100 people a year. Our VITA tax program, last year we served 120 families. The Home Headquarters Sharp Grant, where we help at least 30 a year. And the Land Bank Side Lot Program, where we work with at least 20 properties, bringing them back onto the tax rolls for the city. We are very grateful for the city's $73,000 support of Neda. As a few people have mentioned, we do regret that funding had to remain flat this year. We understand, and it's my job here to say I wish you were able to support our small boost that we requested for an additional housing counselor position to increase to support the increased demand for our services. We couldn't do our work without you. We couldn't do our work without the rest of you, so thank you very much.
Thanks, Andrew. So Bob, followed by Telia Panay.
Good evening. I'm Bob Sikowski from Empire Housing and Development Corporation. Commissioner, thanks for the opportunity to speak tonight and for having this public hearing. Empire is a 501c3 not-for-profit agency dedicated to developing affordable home ownership and rental housing. Now, in our 28th year, Empire has worked closely with the City of Syracuse and NBD, being awarded Cdbg funding every year since 1995. During that time, Empire has completed nearly 600 affordable home ownership projects in the City of Syracuse, in addition to developing and owning the Moses DeWitt Apartments, a 37-unit apartment building that serves low-income renters through Section 8 subsidies. Empire appreciates NBD's past support and is pleased to be included for funding in this year's proposed Year 48 budget. CDBG funds are critical to our mission. We couldn't do it without you. Without CDBG support, we just could not do all the projects that we do each year. The funds help Empire to deliver service activities that are essential for successful homeownership projects. And the funds also help Empire leverage other funds, such as New York State Affordable Housing Corporation funds that we use for construction subsidies, which go directly to low-income home buyers in our Syracuse purchase rehab programs. We have two of those, Syracuse Purchase Rehab Program and a Syracuse Land Bank Program, and the HC subsidies we secure are the backbone of that program. This year, Empire is securing approximately $1.4 million from AHC for construction subsidies, and those subsidies will result in the rehab of approximately 35 properties, 35 homes, for a total of approximately 43 units. Additional funds are leveraged from Peace Weatherization, Syracuse and Onondaga County led, Home Headquarters, and private lenders to make extensive renovations possible. But again, without the CDBG funds to support our activities, leveraging these funds would not happen and the projects would not be possible. Through Empire's home ownership projects, distressed properties are rehabbed, neighborhoods are revitalized, and families are able to accumulate wealth and prosper, which is particularly important in a community with such a low home ownership rate among minority households and in a community with one of the highest child poverty rates in the country. Empire's work addresses that, though. Of the last 106 projects that we have completed, 88 were minority households, 22 were new Americans, 63 were low income, 21 more were very low income, and 22 were extremely low income. And exactly half of those assisted, 53 of them, were female-headed households. Empire looks forward to working with NBD in the coming year to continue serving these families, expanding homeownership opportunity, and increasing prosperity, as well as improving quality of life in our city. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob. So I've got two cards left, Telia, and I'm concerned I'm pronouncing your name wrong, so please correct me when you come up. And then Caitlin Kopfer, if there's anyone here, I'm seeing other faces that may want to have a comment but haven't filled out a yellow card. The cards are right outside the door. Please fill that out, and I'll make sure you get a chance to come up and speak. So thanks. Please.
Thank you. Yes, it's Tilai Panet.
My apologies.
You're fine. Hi, I'm Tilai, and I am from On Point for College. I'm co-director of programming there. And On Point for College is proud to be a partner in the City of Syracuse Annual Action Plan. Our career services supports the goal to build family wealth and promote economic inclusion. On Point helps students from the lowest income neighborhoods in Syracuse gain access to and find success in college and other post-secondary training and education opportunities. Career Services, which I direct and which is partially supported through Cdbg funds, helps our students build the career readiness skills that they need to be successful in transitioning into the workforce. We provide career counseling, resume workshops, practice interviews, and career exploration events. Every quarter, we offer empowerment events to provide networking and mentoring opportunities, connecting our young men and women with local professionals who are from backgrounds that are similar to our students with the help of numerous community partners and local employers. We also provide paid internships that our students can gain pre-professional experience in their fields of interest, a key element that is important to their future employers and that they want to see on their resumes. So these efforts allow our students from underserved backgrounds to compete successfully for career track jobs that will lift them and their families out of the cycle of generational poverty. We appreciate the opportunity to be part of the city's plan that brings so many organizations together to grow our community's strength and resilience through strategic investment in our greatest resource, which is our people. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Caitlin Kopfer, and unless anybody else is deciding to write their name down, this will be our last person for comment.
Hello, my name is Caitlin Kopfer. I'm the program manager for Girls Inc. at the Ywca. And I have this young lady here who's Samaj. So we're very thankful to the city for continued funding because it helps support our youth development services that we have on site, and in our outreach programs. We offer an after-school program as well as 2 programs at PSLA and Seymour Dual Language Academy. In 2021, despite having to reduce our programming, we were able to serve 110 youth. And to give a snapshot of the demographic that we serve, 56% of that 110, their households fell below $30,000 a year. And so while we're offering every day to our students social emotional support, academic support, and life skills building, we're also offering the families that we serve a little bit of economic stability, because our after school program, we're able to keep it free with our continued funding, and that is something that provides a safe and supportive environment that families know that their children are in good hands while they're able to continue working for the day or go to school and support the other needs that they have. So thank you. We would not be able to continue easily without the support.
Thank you, Caitlin. So this concludes this public meeting. There will be a second public meeting that will be held by the Syracuse Common Council, again back here in council chambers on April 6th. And the council has this entire action plan on their agenda for their April 11 meeting. So thanks for coming out and providing comment. Again, feel free to email to nbd@syr.gov.net. Thanks.